What is going on, everyone? Manchester City won, Chelsea nil, and what a performance! That was a performance of dreams, man. We absolutely outplayed Chelsea on their own turf, man. Unbelievable performance, and I think this was like a world away from that disappointing performance that we had against Southampton last week. And this week, honestly, fourth time lucky against Tuchel's Chelsea. I was praying for a result like this because they've had our number on three occasions, especially in that heartbreaking Champions League final. But today they were completely outplayed. It was kind of surprising how average we made them look. It was really surprising. If you look at the stats here, we dominated them on possession 60% to 40%. Our pass accuracy was amazing, 89% pass accuracy. Zero shots on target for Chelsea, by the way. Zero shots on target for Chelsea. And that is what happens when you play football like that. Did you see Chelsea's lineup before that game? No, hold on. Did you see Chelsea's lineup before that game? These lot were playing three defensive midfielders. Three 3-5-2. This is not football. This is terrorism football. I haven't seen this type of terrorism in a long since the Mourinho days. Honestly, 3-5-2. Three defensive midfielders, wing backs, three centre backs. What? What? That's not football. You're destroying the beautiful game. But don't never fear, because Manchester City turned up and we showed them how the beautiful game should be played. And I'm so proud of them, man. I'm so proud of our boys because we needed this performance. We need to send out a statement to the rest of the league that we are not here to play. We're not here to mess around. We're not going to, people were writing us off after we drew to Southampton. They were writing us off saying, oh, Man City are in crisis. Oh, Man City are not what they used to be. Don't write us off ever. We are still one of the best teams in the world. We are still going to fight for every trophy because we have world-class players. And more importantly, we have Pep Guardiola, the best manager in the world. And he showed it because he tactically outclassed Tuchel today. And I'll admit it, I'll hold my hands up. Tuchel got the better of him on the last three occasions. But I'm talking about right here and now. They got absolutely outclassed. Lukaku was nowhere to be seen. That is the second big game, by the way, where Lukaku was nowhere to be seen. Against Liverpool, didn't see him at all. And now against City, he was non-existent. Dias kept him in his back pocket and it was beautiful. Our pressing was aggressive. It was actually aggressive. We actually pressed like we wanted to get the ball, like we had the fire in our bellies that we were going to get there and get that W. Our pressing was absolutely insane. We had Kevin De Bruyne marking Jorginho. I think we had Jesus on, I think it was Rudiger or was it Alonso? And we had Grealish on, I think it was Azpilicueta. But when they played out from the back, oh, and we also had Bernardo Silva on Kante as well. That's very important. But also when they played out from the back, we were straight onto them. They had absolutely no room to breathe, and the amount of mistakes they made trying to play out from the back, thinking they were Barcelona. You're not Barcelona. You're facing Manchester City. That's our game. We play out from the back, not you lot. So they tried to play out from the back, and we were pressing them relentlessly over and over again. And in terms of a pressing performance, that's one of the best pressing performances I've ever seen from from Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Honestly, I'm gonna go for onto the player ratings now. Edison, very good performance. I think he didn't have a shot on target to save, thanks to Lukaku and Werner not having good games, and Diaz and Laporte absolutely marshalling them excellently at the back today. So I'm gonna give him a 7. Didn't have much to do. Distribution was top tier, as it normally is with Edison. When is it not top tier distribution with Edison? He's one of the best sweeper keepers in the world. Kyle Walker and Cancelo, man of the match performance, and he's proving why he's one of the best fullbacks in the world. Cancelo was just creating chance after chance. I think there was one moment in the first half where he touched. I think Walker. Who would have played the ball? I think Walker played the ball to him, and he touched it down with his chest, bypassed one of the Chelsea players, and played a lovely ball into Kevin De Bruyne. Just I think it was through. I think it was through on Azpilicueta's side. He played it through into De Bruyne onto the left hand side, inside the box, but onto the left hand side, and it was absolutely beautiful stuff. Even though De Bruyne didn't make contact, it was an amazing ball from him. And I think Cancelo, the whole game, he was running rings on that left hand side. Him and Grealish had such a good link up. So by far man of the match. Walker, so good defensively. That was one of his best games in a City shirt. Honestly, that was up there with the PSG performance for me. He was so good. He knew he was there at the right moment, at the right time, just to cut out any attacks that Chelsea were doing. It was honestly a masterclass from Walker. Um, Ruben Dias and Laporte, amazing. When I told you, when Laporte or Stones come back with Diaz, we do not concede goals, and this is what happens. Laporte was absolutely amazing today. He marshalled Lukaku really well. I didn't see any Lukaku create any opportunities for himself really. I think Lukaku did get the better of him a few times, but apart from that, it was an absolute masterclass from him. Diaz. Diaz is one of the best centre backs in the world. I don't want to see any allegations of Diaz being overrated because he just isn't. He just isn't overrated. He's one of the best in the world. And his consistency has gone really under the radar because he's been so good. So good defensively. He was like a rock at the back. I mean, that was like one block from Kovacic in about the 70th minute. And he absolutely... and he just came across when I thought he was gonna shoot and score. And he came across and he blocked it. And that's what Diaz offers to this side. And he's like his leadership at such a young age. I think he's only 24. And he's so young and he captained Manchester City today. And honestly, I see Ruben Diaz becoming a future City legend. He just has that aura about him. He has the physicality. He has the mentality. He knows what this club is about. He just gets this club. And the fact that he came here only last year in a time when it was a pandemic, and obviously he couldn't really go around, and he stuck to his guns, and he's still performing week in week out for this club. It's absolutely amazing to see, and honestly, I wouldn't swap Ruben Dias for any centre back in the world, honestly, and that is my honest opinion. Going on to the midfield now, De Bruyne didn't have his best game. I think he didn't have his best game. I think he's trying to get fit. Well, obviously, De Bruyne needs a run of games when he gets injured to properly get going again. But he did create a few opportunities. I won't. In the first half, he did create a few opportunities in the first half. In the second half, he was okay, but he had to get substituted. I think, again, we're serving him for PSG on that one. Rodri. His best performance in the City shirt, in my humble opinion. It was his best performance. He showed Kante levels. Where was Kante this game? Kante, Chelsea fans were telling me, oh, he's the best, this and that. And then Rodri came up, he came up to your ground, by the way. This is your stadium, not our stadium. This is your stadium. And Kante was nowhere to be seen. It was an unbelievable performance from Rodri. And I couldn't ask for anything more. It was amazing distribution in transition. He was defending well against Kante. He was pressing when Chelsea had the ball. Jorginho, Kante and Kovacic were getting overrun in midfield. And that brings me on to Bernardo Silva, who again is one of the best players in the world. Honestly, Bernardo Silva is world class. He was amazing today. He was defensively, he was amazing. In transition, he was just absolutely tearing Chelsea apart. I think he was one of the big reasons why Chelsea looked really overrun in midfielders, even though they tried to match us with their three midfielders. And I think that double pivot with Rodri and Bernardo Silva, I want to see that more often. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we see that against PSG, because honestly, that's one of the best midfield performances I've seen this year. It was unbelievable from both of them, especially since Bernardo Silva, hasn't been on the best form recently, especially, let's say, from early this year. He hasn't been on the best form. He was rumoured to leave, but he's here. We managed to keep him during the transfer window, and his performances have just gone like this. They've just absolutely skyrocketed, and I couldn't ask for anything more. Going on to the front three, I do think the front three was a little bit ineffective in the first half. Foden looked a bit. I don't think he really knows where he was playing. I mean, it was a new role in the false nine, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt for that. He's never really played false nine before, and he did look a little bit ineffective. But in the second half, I think the front three were really good. I'll start with Grealish. Grealish and Cancelo, like I said before, were absolutely amazing. In the first half, Grealish looked a little bit, a little bit slow. He was getting pocketed a lot, but in that second half, we were cutting Chelsea apart in transition, and he was a big part in that. And I think Grealish is going to be such an important player for us this season. Jesus got the goal. Got the goal, Jesus. He was the man of the hour, and I'm so happy for him because last season fans weren't really satisfied with his performances, and deservedly so. He got criticism for it, but today he was absolutely unreal, and this is what Pep said about him after full time. He says that Gabriel Jesus gives his all every game, and that couldn't be any more true today. He played for that badge today. He wanted that win. He wanted to show everyone why he deserves a spot in this team, and he was just amazing today. And he got that goal. I think Cancelo tried to shoot. It was blocked by one of the Chelsea players, and he got the ball, and he had his back to goal, by the way, and he just did a little shuffle, and Jorginho was spun. Had him spinning like some kind of Beyblade, like a fidget spinner. Jorginho didn't know where he was. It was like a hypnosis thing. Jorginho was gone, and then Gabriel Jesus slotted that into the bottom left. It took a little deflection, but he slotted that into the bottom left, and and it was just an amazing goal, man. What a finish it was, especially trying to beat Mendy who's one of the most informed keepers in the world at the moment, and just to beat him from there, especially with the position that we're in, that he was in, and obviously given Chelsea's defensive form at the moment, it was an unbelievable finish that I didn't know that we would get, given how Chelsea were defending. But honestly, what a game it was. What a game, and what a performance. That sends out a statement to the league. We have PSG next, and I hope PSG are watching that, because hopefully, if everything goes well, we're going to do the same thing against them, and we're going to get that 5th win against PSG. And do you know what makes it even better, actually? United lost, which makes it even better. Bruno Fernandes missing a last-minute penalty, and that is going to do wonders for us in our title race. Given that they lost to Villa, we beat Chelsea, and hopefully, God willing, that Liverpool lose to Brentford later today. But anyways, it's been your boy Ryan. What a game it was, what a performance, and let's hope we do the same against PSG. Peace.